season, so I know I'm a little bit late to it, but we're going to be reviewing the TaylorMade QI35 driver today. So TaylorMade's new driver's been out for about a month or so now, but we're getting around to looking at it today. So a couple of key things that you notice when you pick it up. The story with the TaylorMade driver is that what they're looking at is they've taken inspiration from fast things, so aeroplanes, fast cars, stuff like that, and then they're trying to implement those sort of looks into their current driver model, and that's definitely what you're seeing. So there's a lot of technology in this driver, but it's stuff that we've seen before with TaylorMade. So we've got the twist face technology, the carbon face in there as well, carbon crown stuff, and the weight. So to look at it, I sort of see it looks like the old RBZ speed socket there with the that they've sort of carried over. Never been a huge fan of twist face. I don't necessarily think, for me, it's great, and it's interesting that TaylorMade aren't really talking about that much as it is in this driver. There's a couple of key things that they've done. So here we're going to be looking at the standard model. So the driver's got 35 gram weight in the back, 3 gram weight in the front on this one, 10.5 degree driver, and then I've cranked it down a little bit just so it suits me with the Cali 60S shaft in it. So there's plenty of shaft options. The other heads that they do a low spin head, a max head, and a light head. So the light head's got to be for your elderly golfers, ladies. Max is the very forgiving one, low spin's the one that you're going to see on tour potentially quite a bit, but this is just the standard one. Now, there is another head, and this is actually it. So you can see on the face there's some white dots. Now, they're there for, it's a fitting head. So they're there for people that use GC quad. So rather than having those dots on your face when you're playing golf, they've put it into the actual head. Now it's quite important, because if you were playing golf and you left those dots on your club face, then you're breaking the rules of golf and you're liable to get disqualified for competitions, shots, penalties, stuff like that. So, and it's a pain taking them on and off and on and off all the time for people that use that technology. So it's a good idea to put this in. But this is necessary isn't the one that you're going to be purchasing in the shops. This is going to be the fitting head, probably available on eBay from next year. So, yeah, I mean, I like the driver. The key thing that they've spoken about, so last year's drivers was all about getting to the moment of inertia, 10k. So with Ping was the 10k max driver. QI10, Callaway doing the same sort of thing. It was all about getting that 10k moment of inertia. But there's a couple of key things. Ping came a little bit unstuck with their driver, because if you move the mass around the head a little bit, then it's not a 10k driver, because you're moving the weight closer to the face, so that's going to affect the moment of inertia. The other thing is that what they found was that when you pull the mass back away from the face as much as that, it affects the centre of gravity, so, and that means that it comes out higher in the club face. So it's not necessarily out the middle was quite the sweet spot. And a majority of golfers, certainly on an amateur level, are going to be missing the, unless you're skying it, you're going to be missing the ball lower in the face. So then, if the centre of gravity is higher than that, what you're going to get is some really weird numbers on spin, and it's going to massively affect distance. So what they've done with this is really shifted it down as low as they possibly can, so that the centre of gravity does come out the middle of the face, and then those sort of lower strikes are going to be a little bit more consistent and a little bit more what you'd expect to see. Now, from looking down on the driver, really like it. I like that. I prefer the the fact that it's got the carbon face. I'm alright with that, but it's not the red carbon face like it was with the Stealth, so I prefer it. They did the white drivers, which was really nice, but this is just a classic looking carbon crown. It really does look like a nice driver. the the weights. It's just be mindful that the standard driver does have a weight at the front, and the max is the one that's a little bit more forgiving. It's not necessarily a low spin head. Let's hit a few shots and see what it's like. So as always, we're Pro V1s. Obviously in here it doesn't really matter about the dots on the face because we use TrackMan, not using GC Quad. So it's always like when you're hitting the carbon drivers, you don't necessarily get that high sort of that you do out of a titanium one, but like their spin rate is a little bit low on the spin, but decent enough drive. Nice and straight, nice and easy. Definitely found the middle there. Spin rate, that's weird. That's really low spin. So like their 1500 spin rate. I mean, and for what was a relatively centered strike. Yeah, having hit a few drivers there, I can see, like, looking at the numbers, distance-wise, he's not bad. He's not the longest driver I've ever hit. The spin rate seemed low on this one for me. Now, that could be a combination of shaft or head or whatever, but probably personally I'd like to see it spin in a little bit more because apart from one really bad shot, the rest of them weren't too bad. But, I have fitted this driver for a few customers recently. And the numbers have been really good for them. So it is a good driver, definitely worth experimenting and trying, and get the opportunity, hit it, compare it to the other ones that are on the market, and see what works best for you.